Welcome to Holy Vanilla, where we talk about vanilla Christianity in America today. Not spicy chocolate Christians, not interesting strawberry Christians. We're talking plain vanilla Christians. Our goal is to make Christians stronger Christians, but most likely using tough love. One of the things that really irritates me, like nothing else, is how judgmental Christians can get about gay people and transgender people sinning because they have sex in a way the Bible doesn't support. Yet, Christianity today is literally littered with rampant, ongoing, and even criminal sexual sin, all of which is sex the Bible doesn't support. Christians, churches, did you hear what I just said? Are you aware of how many different kinky and or illegal ways Congress is occurring within our religion? And don't forget, if you even imagine having Congress with anyone other than your hetero spouse, you are just as guilty with God of doing the wild thing live and in person. I'm going to state here, as I have in another video, Holy Vanilla supports the acceptable version of Congress, which is Congress between a married man and woman only. Everything else, heterosexual or homosexual, is sinful. Therefore, can we as Christians and churches stop pointing the finger and threatening and beating up gay people and transgender people for their sin when we as a religion have been utterly, terribly sinful on this topic? Christians, we have a thick, detailed hand guide called the Bible that details how we are to act congressionally. All American Christians have ready access to this hand guide and knew that it was important to read and apply. And you didn't do it. The onus is on you. It is on us. Churches, you are also complicit because you have spent your resources on this topic, pointing the finger at and rejecting gay people at your doorstep when you should have been focusing on the ongoing congressional sin of your congregants, staff, and or clergy. I personally have a theory that the congressional failings of heterosexual Christians over the last 50 plus years have been a major influence in the formation of the modern LGBTQIA plus movement. Yes, I said that. What failings am I talking about? In case you've been under a rock the last 50 plus years, here are some of the more destructive ways heterosexual American Christians sin congressionally and have compromised our religion in innumerable ways and for generations to come. The first destructive congressional sin, pornography. This is so destructive, more than men will ever realize, and it's becoming a part of daily life, even hourly life. Based on my personal research over the years, I would estimate about 80% of Christian men are looking at some form of pornography most days. They're going to church on Sunday, then scrolling through seductive pics and videos on their phone afterward, while waiting on their lunch with their family, kids sitting at the table, looking at it at night before going to bed with their wives or their girlfriends. And porn is not dirty magazines anymore. Now, we're talking Facebook. I'm talking any hetero Christian men with a phone. And believe it or not, men don't even have to go look for it anymore. Once these social media sites determine that the user is a male, which is usually done very quickly, they start sending this stuff to the man, whether he asks for it or not, whether he clicks on the buttons or not. It is readily available. The number 2 destructive congressional sin, casual or premarital Congress. Based on my research over the years, most couples are having Congress before marriage, including Christians. People can't wait. They don't know how to deny themselves. They go to church the next day. There's no accountability. And I'll repeat, if you even imagine having Congress in this scenario, you are living in sin. But you still point the finger at gay people, yet you are just as sinful. Young Christians, just in case you have never been told before, you cannot have any kind of Congress before marriage. The Bible doesn't support it. It is sinful, okay? And if I sound like Mr. Perfect here, I am not. I struggled with this sin in my 20s. I didn't go all the way until I was married. My wife was my first time, and I'm very proud of that. But I did other things in this category in my 20s. I definitely know how easy it is, even as a Christian. I was wrong. I was a sinner. I had to get right with God and change my habits, even though that activity felt very, very, very natural to me. Thank goodness nobody pointed the finger at me and rejected me at church. I needed help. I needed discipline. I needed an example. I needed hope. And so do gay people. And gay people, I am aware that this topic with you is much more than about having Congress with someone or what feels good. We will get to that in time. The number 3 destructive congressional sin, fantasy Congress. This is where normal-looking Christian men and women, even serving at their local church, go down a rabbit hole with an alternative life and pursue all kinds of congressional fantasies with a non-spouse or even a make-believe person. It is totally destroying families and their kids and the Christian religion. 20 years ago, you would have thought this stuff was out of a movie. Nope. More people than you are aware are living an alternative life congressionally. It's pretty freaky stuff. The number 4 destructive congressional sin, child abuse. This seems to become more widespread in the Christian religion than most of us want to admit. It seems that every year that passes in America, the more layers of this terrible onion are peeled back. It's horrid, it's embarrassing, it does not represent Jesus or the Bible whatsoever, yet it's getting worse within our religion. Most Christians and churches do not do this. But it's still happening too much. I just can't believe that Christians have allowed so much of this over the decades. It doesn't make sense given our faith. The predators are mostly heterosexual men who like to point the finger at gay people and say how wrong and vile and sinful they are. Heterosexual Christians want to know the congressional sin that is worse than any other congressional sin? It is congressional sin against children. Those sinners are the low of the low, and they are usually heterosexuals. American Christians, please, please focus on fixing yourself and your own sins before pointing the finger at others. This is a message from Jesus Christ himself. Matthew chapter 7, I believe, Sermon on the Mount, for some of you who like to read. I promise you, it will shock you how much you will fix in America when you focus on fixing yourself first. Thank you for watching Holy Vanilla. We would appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button. Also, if you like what we're trying to do on this program and would like to support us, click on the link below or go to holyvanilla.com.